think of it as another member of Limquay that's wearing the costume.
Got it. Cool.
Anyway, the first thing I want to note, I want to geek out hard for his stance, the Snake MK3, MKDA. I'm all in on that. And you can see a lot of his F-style, his like fight moves, use Snake style.
Yep.
I think that's super cool. It's a cool throwback. So let's start with his throws. You'll see a lot of his stuff is super effects heavy. Like he's not doing everything he does physical. He also mixes up with magic, and I think it's really cool. Because something I thought of before we were like working on Shang is that they talk about what a sorcerer he is, but honestly, he pretty much just does skulls and soul steel.
Yeah.
So I really love all this stuff that uses like the lava.
He pulls out the scroll and stuff like
Yes.
that. I mean, you actually see more of the magic coming through.
Exactly.
It's
I think that's really
a
cool.
J. Edwards special. He did an awesome job.
You can't see it here, but his throw is a little different than others.
Yes, he actually gains back a little bit of health.
What?
But
You can't see that because he has 100%.
sure, but also his forward throw only does 100 damage.
Right.
So you're losing 40
Right.
damage off of it to gain that 40 back.
Right.
So here's a couple of the key normals I wanted to show. I think his premier normal, like the normal that defines him, is this forward 2, and it's this really long range mid. And there's a couple of options from it. He can do this string, which looks awesome, and that combos in the corner. So this string is actually plus on block. So when he blocks it, he can move before the opponent. So he can do like his down 3 or
Go back
for
into
a throw.
pokes. Yeah.
Exactly. But it has a huge gap. If the opponent knows they're going to do it, they can attack through it. They can even just do a standing jab, and they get a full combo punish.
Right.
So he also has to complement it, this one, which ends in a kick, and this does not combo in the corner. It's not plus.
Is it a hide?
It is not.
No.
The opponent has to block it, and here's what's really cool.
It does something a little special, doesn't it?
Oh.
That was a bad recording. All right. If it's a counter hit, it gets a crushing blow.
Nice.
So the meta here would be, you're pressuring it with this, you're getting your plus flames, you're looping it. Sometimes I walk back and bait it down 1. Sometimes I do his down 3, which has really good range. And then when they start interrupting it, that's when you go to this. And then once per game, you're going to get that juicy, crushing blow.
Oh, yeah.
And it's one of those characters where, like, you might not be winning the match if you don't pull that. Like, you're going to get that one every match if you're playing.
Yeah, it's definitely a core part of his gameplay. So the only real downside to this move is that it's kind of slow, and that's complemented by his back 1, which is a really fast mid. I think it's like 13 frames or something like that. And
Oh, that was
like-
an awesome jump attack, too. Sorry.
yeah,
I love it.
The kung fu stuff's really cool, and he can confirm that into his soul steel or his fireballs or whatever. And he's not going to get like a huge reward off it, but that's kind of like the fast move you use if you're up close, and then this is too slow to use.
Right.
Another cool one is this lava string. I'm a big fan of this because this is actually a tribute to MKDC Universe. Remember that?
Yep.
I do.
That's awesome.
One of those combo challenges had that
It was
in.
insanely
It was
hard.
so hard. I
It was
remember.
insanely hard, yeah.
Here's the thing I like about Shang Tsung. I guess let's keep moving with this because I have a point I want to make later, but I want to show some of
Okay.
those moves first when we get into specialists and stuff.
All right, so let's go into the specials. First off, the skull's back. It's pretty much exactly what you want. A fast projectile.
Does it scream?
The sound effect is great. I was spamming it earlier against someone and like really all in on the sound effect.
Yeah.
He can amplify it to do 2. He actually cannot amplify it to do 3 anymore. You got to settle for 2, but we might get back to that later.
Okay.
Also back is the soul steel.
Of course.
He morphs into the opponent for about 6 seconds or so. So there's something interesting about this. When he's morphed, he gains access to all their crushing blows. So he actually will get like 10 crushing blows, which is way more than anyone else.
Right.
Literally twice as much as anyone else. So if he does a down 2 as the opponent, that counts as his down 2. He
Right.
can't do another down 2. However,
If he does it at Sub-Zero, he can't do it at Shang Tsung.
correct. However, if he does one of Sub-Zero's, like if he does Sub-Zero's slide one, that doesn't take away from his Shang ones.
Right.
The downside is it will actually do 50% less. So you get this huge pool of crushing blows, but they're going to do 50% less.
Sure.
He can also,
When you're the opponent.
when you're the opponent, correct.
But you still have to do the
The required.
requirements.
So,
Yes.
so for getting the main one you want with 50% off of his slide,
Yeah.
isn't that bad.
Right.
So you'd have to maybe turn into Sub-Zero a couple times probably to get that to work.
Yes. You can also meter burn it to actually extend the time that you're the opponent.
Gotcha.
And Soul Steel is pretty much what you expect. Really good range. It is punishable, but it's going to be like stuff like Sub-Zero Slide. So it's a pretty good like mid-range move to check them. He also has this brand new move, which is actually his own kind of slide. It's a mid. It doesn't reach full screen, but it's really fast, and you can use it to like punish stuff. Secondly, a new move, and this is again an example of him using sorcery in ways he never has, is Corpse Drop, where a dead body, which for some reason has a huge belly, I love that,
Because it's bloated.
falls from the sky. Oh, that makes sense.
That makes sense, yeah.
And if you amplify it, it becomes overhead low and does hella damage.
That's awesome.
And he has a close, medium, and very far version that he can use, so it kind of complements the space control moves. Like, they're kind of regulated because of the fireball, and they got to be ready to block that. And the low has massive radius, too. Like, you can see the blood will actually hit them, and it can kind of trip them.
And here's what I was going to talk about when it comes to Soul Steel. You read a lot of people online, like, having character crisis. Like, who do I play?
Awesome
Who do I play?
space control move. If you amplify it, it's actually safe on block, and you cannot interrupt it. Like, so you can hit confirm into it and get pretty juicy damage, and it's also a great block string. Like, if you watch here, he's safe, and he'll be pushed away.
I was gonna say, in the
pretty
pushback,
hella.
yeah.
So I think this is a great keep out tool. Like, you want to be in range for your forward too, and you don't want to be close to the opponent. You want to be in range for soul steal, all that kind of juicy stuff. He can use this, kind of get out of dodge, and on hit, get pretty good damage.
What
It's
oh, go ahead, sorry.
definitely like a why not move, in my opinion. I think like